Hello, everybody. It's Sarah Kumalo here, Summits with a Purpose, and thank you so much for joining us and those that will listen to this podcast here after. Today, I'm talking to Kishor, who is somebody that I met on Everest, on one of the Everest, actually, two of my Everest expeditions, 2017, when he first summited, as well as 2019 when he was there with a group of people. So I'll let him introduce himself. Kishore, how are you doing and who are you for some of my viewers that are listening and those that will join a bit later?
Okay, thanks, Sarah. And it's a nice initiative. First, I would like to congratulate you for this initiative. And about myself, yes, I'm Kishor Dattatraya from India, and I'm an avid adventurer, cyclist, runner. And I'm living my life to the fullest, and that's how I can explain myself in a short. I would like to go places, lot of places, new places, and explore the world, to see the world through my eyes, via my feet. That's the aim of life.
Fantastic. You're actually the first Indian mountaineer that I've met that has also done comrades, which is interesting. Why comrades? How did you get to do comrades? Not one, but four comrades.
Oh yeah, and still six to finish, so that I can get a big number.
Oh, my word. You're very ambitious. Well done. Welcome. Next time I'll join you.
Yeah, so see you on 13 June,
Absolutely.
2020.
Did you do the virtual one? Because this year they did virtually. Did you join?
What? No, no, I didn't. I'm not
No.
interested in virtual things. It's more going to run on the actual historic comrades route, because
Uh,
uh, you asked me the question, why comrades.
yes.
Comrades is the oldest ultra marathon in the world, and it has a history. It has a history directly related to the camaraderie, we call it. And we
Yeah.
in mountains also, we have that kind of bond with our fellow partners, Sherpas, or the team members.
Yeah.
And also, since Comrades, it's between two cities, the Petermaritzburg and the Durban. And my motto to run Comrades is since it is the oldest one, and it has a more than 100 years of history, close to 100 years of history. And it's the longest ultra marathon on the road.
Mm.
And I thought I should do some unique uh, on this planet. So I climbed the mountain on the southern hemisphere. Now I will be running the longest ultra marathon, uh, which has a more than close to 100 years of history. So that's why I choose to run Comrades.
Yeah, fantastic. I know that you are trying to do the seven summits, which is the seven highest peaks on the seven continent. Is
Yeah.
that also just because you're an adventurer? Why seven summits?
So after climbing Everest from the both the sides, I should keep myself engaged in mountains, and I thought, let's finish the another challenge, that is climbing the seven summits in the
Okay.
seven continents, so that I can go places, I can visit all the continents. It's a one life, and what uh, else we can expect from this life? This the earth is so beautiful, and I would like to see each and every corner of this planet through my eyes. So
Wow,
that's why.
that's very nice. Most Africans start with Kilimanjaro and end with Everest. You start with Everest, not only the north side, but the north and the south side. And you come to Kilimanjaro, which is interesting. Tell us a little bit more about your first Everest expedition and why you decided on it.
So I was an athlete since my school and college days, but later on I lost the fitness. I put on, and then I suffered hypertension. So I decided to fulfill the dreams which I have seen in my school or college days. and I thought I should go in mountains and again and again. Everest was not on my list at all. So, but since it gives glamour and it's the ultimate goal one can achieve in mountaineering, since it's the tallest, highest, and most dangerous mountain, I would call it. Since we have been there on the mountain, that's the dangerous mountain we have experienced till date. And that's why I thought I should put my name in the history books. And I think Everest gives that opportunity to among the chosen ones to put their steps on the top of the mountain. And again, it has a history related to mythology, then survey, engineering, everything. Those are so many reasons they came together to give me the.
I think we seem to have lost Kishor. Let's give him a few minutes to get back to us.
Hello.
Hi, Kishor. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Am I audible to you? Am I visible? Okay. So
Yes,
why
yes,
north
you're
side? North
visible.
side, first ascent, the first attempt to climb this mountain, Mount Everest, was from north side in 1922 by Mallory. So it has a history. It is more technical than the south one, more challenging, exposed, and the camp is at 8,300 meters. So you are summit camp is in dead zone. So and since the region I belong, it's a Sahyadri region, and we have all these rock faces. We have that skill to climb uh, technical rock sections, and since it was my first attempt, nobody knows at that time. Nobody was knowing to me in mountaineering field, so I thought let's give a try, and it should be a hard try. I don't like to do easy things. And that's why I choose the north side, and which
Okay.
gave me my first successful summit of my life.
Wow. Congratulations for that. A lot of the Indian climbers that I've met in the mountains, whether they are Hindu or Buddhist, they find mountains quite sacred. So the mountain climbing to them means different things to, for example, Western climbers. Is there any attachment other than just it's the toughest for you that you're attached to the mountain?
The attachment goes to again in the engineering background because uh, since I'm a civil engineer, so I was knowing the history, how they measure the height of this mountain, and that was the educational background was there, that I was knowing the technical aspect
Yeah.
about measurements of the mountains, the equipment used for the mountains. So I was quite surprised with the technology of that time and how they measured to such a precision. And that is there. Also, since I belong to the Hindu community, we have this concept of treating mountains, even the small hills, as a sacred places, that the places where the gods have their presence. And since I somehow believe in some kind of spiritual thing, I
Yeah.
thought I should respect the mountain, and I should give the full uh, credit whatever I will achieve in mountaineering to these mountains.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you went back after successfully summiting in 2014. In 2015, I think I met you then when there was the earthquake. Tell us your account. I mean, the Everest Base Camp lost quite a number of people. Nepal itself was devastated with over 9,000 losses. What was your experience in 2015?
So I had climbed and successfully reached the summit of this mountain, Mount Everest. from the north side. So a lot of my mountaineering friends, they suggested me, why don't you try from the other side also? No Indian had civilian from the civilians, okay, had even attempted back to back summits. So since you have achieved the toughest one, now go for the easiest one, which was not an easiest one at all, and you have experienced that. Uh, no mountain is easy. No side of the mountain is easy. No route of the mountain is easy. It's always dangerous. But since I had this skill, ability to climb mountain easily and effortlessly, less effortlessly compared to others, I thought I should give a chance. I reached base camp uh, almost mid-April. Then we went up to Camp 2, and from Camp 2, we came down on the same day, 25th of April. And while we were in base camp, the ground was started completely shattering, and there was a chaos. Everybody was running out. We didn't know what exactly happened, and there was a boom. It was completely like a big bombs are getting poured there, and it was a huge, loud noise. And since it was a cloud or covered with clouds, nobody was knowing from which side of the mountain the danger is coming. And it was from Pumori. The reach of the Pumori has completely broken. And we were in base camp. We were having our breakfast that time, since we did our first rotation on the mountain. And it was an earthquake. We were extremely lucky to survive that earthquake and that avalanche also. So many people died. The people next to our camp also, there was a death of a couple of people there, and which was very scary sight at that time. But we were lucky that nothing went wrong with us or any of the team member, and it was a devastating sight in base camp. And everybody was under trauma at that time. So we spent a few days in base camp because we were advised not to go back to lowlands, because the adversity of the earthquake was more at the lowlands rather than on the mountain. Then we came to Kathmandu. Then we saw the scale of the earthquake and its effect on the Kathmandu region and Nepal. So we decided to spend some time in helping the people there. So we visited a lot of places, remote places, where there was shortage of supplies and everything. So that's how I attempted from south side also in 2015.
15. And that didn't scare you because you were there in 2017 and I met you again. What made you go back, and what did you do differently from your previous attempts?
I did nothing differently because I was there on the mountain. I have been there in Camp 2, so I have crossed the Kumbo Asphalt twice. So I was knowing what kind of objective hazards are there on the mountain. So I polished my skills to cross the ladder on the crevasses, which you have seen. That's the trickiest part you can polish during the climb. So I did that, and also couple of other aspects of the strain training because of the faster reaching from through the Kumbo icefall. It was a learning experience, and since I have been there on the mountain, I was quite relaxed. That yes, it's a people used to say that Kumbo icefall is the most toughest part of the climb from the south side. I didn't find that tough in my first attempt also, and later also. I don't want to exaggerate, but yeah, if you train properly and to the precision, what kind of technical climbs are there during your climb, then it becomes easier one.
Yeah. That's interesting that you say that. How do you train for Everest as opposed to training for a Comrades marathon? Do you do the same thing? Do you do different regimes to prepare yourself for the mountain?
Yeah, we have to train differently for the mountain because Comrades is a ultra marathon where thousands of people are there to support you, to cheer you. Here, though, there is no one on the mountain to cheer you. There is no one waiting at the summit to hand over you a Coke or a medal or such kind of thing. And each and every second you are counting because your oxygen is running out. So you have to be very, very calculative about your oxygen supply. So
Yeah.
during training, I did a lot of mental training. Physically, I was fit. I had prepared myself for 4 years before 2014. So physically, there was no issue. Mentally, yes, to cross the Khumbu Icefall was the most challenging part for everyone, the newcomer also and the season one also. So, because every year they change the route through the icefall, and it becomes
Yes.
every year it becomes dangerous and dangerous. So, how to cross the Khumbu icefall as early as possible was my primary target during my training. And for that training, since 2014, I before reaching Nepal, 1 month I spent in Leh. Leh Ladakh is the area at 4,000 meters in India, where you can train not only for altitude but also for the temperatures because the mercury plunges below 20, 20, 30 many times. So that kind of wintering kind of training I had done. Then staying at high altitude was also helpful for me. And obviously the endurance training. Endurance training was the core of my all activities.
Yeah.
And that's how I shortened all my training programs uh, for this climb.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of the Indians that I've met on the mountains come from either the police or the army. How does a civilian do this? Do you sponsor yourselves? Do you find funding? How do you go about it? How easy is it for civilians to get access to Everest, even though it's so close to you?
No, it's not easy to get access to Mount Everest. For a civilian, it's a very arduous task to raise funds, and because it's cost you minimum $30,000, and
Yeah.
it's a huge amount for any civilian in India.
Yeah.
Uh, for myself, I had planned well in advance about funding all my expeditions. So it was
Yeah.
self-funded expedition. I had no sponsors, and since I was climbing after 40 in India, we don't consider plus 40 age is a right age for climbing Mount Everest, and that too the dangerous mountains. And if they are outside India, they are always dangerous for many
Yeah.
reasons. So,
Yeah.
funding, I had already sorted that issue. And for the second attempt, one of my cousin brother who came in my help, and he helped me in my second successful attempt. Then I started guiding on Everest Base Camp treks, then other mountains also, and started training camp also. Since I had experience from the both side, and I'm a certified marathon coach. So I did coaching in mountaineering also, and that's how I raise my own funds.
Okay, that is interesting. Also, climbing Everest means a lot more to the Indian communities, from what I've picked up, than to other people. Yes, it's prestigious for other people, but it looks like somebody in the army or in the police, once they've summited Everest, they get promotions. It's like really a big deal. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I've noticed that even those people that Photoshop the summit pictures, it's quite prevalent in the Indian community because of the accolades that summiting Everest comes with. Maybe some of my viewers don't know much about, the background to that. Can you maybe talk about that a little bit and explain?
Yeah, so I would like to do a disclaimer that I'm not from army or any public services sector. I really have no exact idea how they function. But whatever information I got from last 8 to 10 years while interacting with a lot of army and services people, for army, many of the army sections, different sections of the army, they have this mountaineering and activity in their sector. So it's always financed and supported by the central government. So they don't have to get worried about the finances. Government takes care of that. Since they are already employee of the government, they don't have to worry about promotion and everything. So they get naturally promoted according to their experience and what they have achieved. So personally, it's an additional star on their shoulders, so that they are an Everest. It's a part of their service. Even they are getting selected for climbing Everest. It's a part of their service.
Okay. Okay.
And about other services like police and other government sectors, the government is trying to promote the adventure activity. Okay, not only in India but also outside India. We have the largest collection of 6,000 plus meters mountain of the world, India. So somehow government want to get attraction from the international field, so that more and more people can come to India, climb the mountains, help the local community economically. And also, since it's a sport, our sports minister, the current sports minister, is quite helpful even in this field also.
Okay. Okay.
About promotions and everything, yes, the government sectors, the public undertaking sectors of the government, yes, the promotion is there. If you are a constable or a police, okay, if you climb Mount Everest, there were provisions. I don't know whether they are still or not, but if you have climbed Mount Everest, that means you have achieved something out of the box. And to encourage that kind of activity, this concept of promotion came into force. But as you likely said, there are some good people, so there are also has to be bad people. That's why we know that these are good people. If there are no bad people, we will never come to know who are good. So this race, this rat race, I call it as a rat race, had given birth to these fake summit claims. And yes, I know few people who did that, and they did somewhere else, but we as an Indian, we exposed them. So the Indians did that and Indians exposed them.
Yeah.
So that gives an idea how honest we are, how we cannot tolerate any kind of dishonesty with our mountaineering. That's our second breath. If one breath we are taking to survive, the second breath is our mountaineering and mountains. So we will not tolerate any cheating in that. And for this personal gains, yeah, few people attempted that. We exposed them, we cracked them down, we made them to sit at home. Okay, we will not tolerate that. So in future also, if someone does that, we are there. We are there to take care of their false claims.
I'm laughing because a lot of my Indian friends that were climbing with us, they get very upset. And they were saying exactly that. We must expose them because they're giving all of us a bad name. But there are bad people everywhere. You are absolutely right. I want to take us back to Everest Base Camp. The Sherpas always do puja ceremonies. And I noticed that Indians that are Hindus, they take this very seriously because you can relate to it. Can you explain to me how you relate to it and how important the puja ceremony before the climb through the Khumbu Icefall is to you as a climber personally?
Mount Everest is a sacred mountain for the Tibetans, the Nepalese, and Indians. Since our core, spiritual core is the same, though it's a Buddhism or Hinduism, that the core is same. Whatever we do in our culture, we first do the ceremony. We invite gods to bless us, so that whatever we are doing, there should be success. There should be uh, a flawless, complete procedure has to be done. There should not be any curse from any negative environment around us. And since the Tibetan people also follow the same, we also follow the same, the Nepalis also follow the same. We believe in that. We follow some these rituals. These are not just for Everest. These are for our day-to-day activity also. Even if I am leaving for Mount Everest, okay, the entire family will come together. They will pray to the God that give him the success, and pray for his successful and safe return.
Yeah.
And it's always a positive energy when you do perform puja in base camp. Okay, a lot of positive aura is created around you. Positive environment is created around you, and also, since it's a belief, okay, the mountain also reciprocates the same. If you approach towards mountain with respect, the mountain will also allow you to uh, step on his head, okay, with the same respect and dignity. And since Sherpa and base camp support is the lifeline of this mountain,
Yeah.
and if we keep the lifeline pleased and happy, okay, automatically the entire flow goes smoothly. And that's why we came on mountain, so that mountain will bless us, summit will happen, and we will go with the pride and honor that yes, the mountain had allowed us to climb there. We didn't climb the mountain, the mountain allowed us to climb on them. So
Wow.
that's why this puja ceremony is very important for all the
Yeah.
cultures.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Hello, Metsi, and hello, everybody that's joined us. So, Metsi is asking, she says, beg your pardon, that she loves your life, your love for life and adventure. It is a true joy. And you mentioned history like 4 times. When you talk about comrades, you talk about its history. You talk about the mountains, you talk about history. So she's curious to know why it's so important for you to link your adventure to the history of the different adventures.
Oh, so since I belong to a range which is where I staying right now. It has a mountain range. Okay, one of the oldest one, part of the Aravali. It's a Sahyadri mountain range, and since since more than 1,000 years, we were fighters. The community I belong, we have freedom struggle. We have uh, fought for hundreds of years. So there is a instinct in my blood that we should fight. Okay, whether it's for our own success or for the community. And that's how I generated history, interest in history. And
Yeah.
since I'm a civil engineer, in our curriculum the measurements are there. So we measure altitude, latitude, then how to measure objects from a distance. So this comes under civil engineering. And the Surveyor General of India, who was Mount George Everest. Okay, and this mountain is given by his successor, name George Everest, for this mountain. When they calculated this mountain, they never gave it any name, because they measured it almost hundreds kilometers away from. They measured this mountain from Darjeeling area, and this engineering, my educational background, my interest in history, lead to me to get interested in history, and obviously engineering, it leads to a precision, and when I do anything, I do it with a precision. So uh, even Mount Everest, I know each and every place, its altitude, what kind of objective hazards are there, what kind of weather is there, what kind of terrain is there. So uh, that's how I have conditioned myself.
Yeah, that is interesting. Metsi, I hope you heard that, and thank you so much for that question. So just going back, I'm listening to you and I'm wondering, any ambitions to summit Everest without oxygen?
Uh, as of now, considering my age, I'm 47 running right now, though I'm extremely fit, no doubt about it. I would attempt, and in 2017, I got an opportunity. So I stayed there at South Col without supplemental oxygen, and I was extremely well. Then I made a summit attempt. I came down, and there was no altitude sickness, there was no frostbite kind of thing, and there was no hallucination. I was perfectly as fit, as good as at sea level. So yes, in future, if such kind of situation arises and I get an opportunity, yes, definitely I would like to go up till balcony for sure. I don't know whether I summit or not, because see, always, Sarai, I always tell people, come down safely. Don't die up there on the mountain. It's not a good place to die. Come down, even if you are unsuccessful. Come to tell your story, what mistakes you have done, so that the next climbers will not repeat that mistake.
Yeah, that is true. Come back to climb another day. How has your life changed after you summited? Or has it changed at all?
My day-to-day life, it hasn't changed anything. So I'm a normal guy. I'm a very common person. So I'm still that. But yes, socially, yes, a lot of respect I had gained. People understood me. People uh, came to know that he had achieved something which we just have read in books or dreamed of it. To person like me from a common background can break the social barriers, age barriers, the living in box kind of concept, and have achieved something else. Yes, it changed. So I get invited for talks. People respect me. So that kind of change has been happened. But I still think I am the same guy who was 20 years back, and still would like to stay as I am after 20 years also. So
Yeah,
personally,
that
I
is.
don't think I have changed any.
I don't think so. No, not the little that I know. I don't think so. So you've also attempted three other, apart from Everest, of the seven summits: Kilimanjaro, Aconcagua, and Elbrus. And you planned to do the rest. Can you tell me, of the four that you have done, which was the most difficult, the most memorable, and which one would you like to go back to again?
Oh, the toughest, physically and mentally, yes, obviously, Everest is the toughest one, no doubt. But if you discount all the objective hazards, altitude, and everything, then I think Elbrus, I would like to mention that it's unpredictable. The wind is too much. The altitude is low, but you have to deal with tremendous wind, which I have never experienced. Not even on Everest, I have experienced such, and it's unpredictability on Elbrus. Also, there are other factors also to get Russian visa. You have to climb another mountain to get that, and then Then the language is the problem in Russia. So they don't understand even English, the simplest English. So it becomes very difficult to interact with the locals there. And I climbed Kilimanjaro twice. So in 2017 also and 2018 also. Both the times I was leading a team, guiding a group on that mountain. Also on Elbrus, I was leading a team. Even on Aconcagua, also I was leading the team. So what I have done after Everest, those who are interested to climb these easier mountains of this continents, but they want someone who has a experience of mountains and who can guide us and lead the expedition. So people invite me. I go along with them to fulfill their dreams, and that gives me more happiness than uh, doing all other climbs on my own. I can climb these mountains on my own, but there is no fun. There is no uh, respect, I would say. If you see someone is achieving, they have just never dreamed of it. Okay, and if I'm very small contribution is there, then it gives a happiness.
Wow.
Aconcagua, I would say Aconcagua is one of the lesser next to Everest, Elbrus, Aconcagua, because of the altitude. It's close to 7,000 meters. Also, the route is not easy. It's a very long route till base camp and then to summit, and also the weather, the climb, the last summit push, then getting down. It's a tough mountain. You need a very high level of endurance for
Yeah.
Aconcagua.
I also think the weather in Aconcagua can be can be crazy.
Yeah,
It changes very quickly, and you're too exposed as well, as much as you are on Elbrus.
and also Aconcagua there is no rope. They don't allow to fix any rope. So you have to be very cautious about each and every step you are climbing towards the summit after the
Yeah.
summit camp.
Yeah.
And next year, the Denali is the next I had planned. Again, we'll prefer to go lead a group on that mountain. Then Punkak Jaya and Vinson. Vinson, I really don't know whether I will able to climb Vinson because it's the most expensive one of among all 7 summits. And let's see how the future is about finishing my dream of 7 summits.
Yeah. So, of the ones you have done, which one would you like to do again personally? Not because you're taking people, just you just love to go and do it again.
Elbrus and Aconcagua.
Okay.
So, Sarai, since I had climbed Mount Everest twice, Kilimanjaro twice, so obviously it becomes now I should go all the 7 summits twice.
Okay, I see that. Okay. All right.
I'm just joking. I don't think it's possible, but since it's two,
Yeah.
and yes, Elbrus will happen twice, definitely. I don't know about Aconcagua, but Elbrus will happen second time.
Yeah. When you were talking about India previously, a few minutes ago, you talked about how there's a lot of 6,000 mountains in India that
Mhm,
can use for training. Do you have
mhm.
training groups in India that people can use to prepare for Everest? Or do you come to the Nepal side to prepare for Everest?
Since in India, all these mountaineering institutes they are governed by the Ministry of Defense, so it comes under central government. So I'm not allowed to teach anything regarding mountaineering on my own. So
Okay.
what if someone approaches me for the training? I request them to join the basic mountaineering course from any of these institutes which are governed by the government, then do the advanced course. And if they are willing to climb Mount Everest, then I have designed a program for them. So it's a 2 year program. It's not just 2 months or a 1 month program. If they finish that program, in which I gave them 3 mountains two 6,000 and one 7,000 meter mountain. If they climb that mountain, that's more than sufficient for me. Whether they have reached the summit or not, it's an optional because it's a bonus. It depends on whether how they were on the mountain and a lot of other factors. But if they attempted these mountains, they know what is mountaineering, exactly mountaineering, what it is. And that gives me a confidence that these people will go on Everest, and they will at least know what not to do on the mountain. You can Google what to do on mountain, but you don't know what not to do on mountain. And that only experience will tell you what not to do. And then the polishing things, which I conduct yearly, every year in Jan and Feb in Leh. So I have almost trained more than 50 people till now for Everest. Few of them have successfully reached the summit also. Few have turned back. So there is a mix ratio. But to promote mountaineering, to promote Everest, I have put my efforts so that we can indirectly help the local community in Everest region, the Nepal, and also our Indian mountaineering, so that these local mountains from India will also get benefit from my trainees.
Okay. I just want to, in case somebody missed it, so if I understood you correctly, you're saying that you have a 2-year program to prepare for Everest, and within that, you have two 6,000ers that you recommend that people do, and a 7,000er, and then they're
Yes.
ready for the mountain. Do you have a website where people can come and contact you to try and figure out if they want to work with you?
No, I don't. I don't sell any mountain. I'm not selling any mountain.
Are you not? Are you not coaching people? No.
Yeah, I coach people. But I don't sell mountain.
I hear you, but I'm trying to find out whether you're coaching. Do you
Yeah,
coach people that you know? And if people want to be coached by you, how do they get hold of you?
yeah. So they can contact me on Facebook, Instagram. So that's why I said I don't go and haven't started any commercial organization. It's a very personal thing. It's a very personal thing. I analyze the person, how motivated he is, whether he is seriously a mountaineer or just a armchair mountaineer. Okay. Then I took the call whether he will go on mountain or not. I tell them bluntly, don't climb mountain for any accolade or for any financial or personal gains. If you really love and if you really have dream to go and reach the summit, then and then only you come to me.
Yeah,
Just as a uh, fancy thing or as a trend kind of thing, don't do that because it's a dangerous.
yeah, that's true. I agree with that. So when you do all your climbs, what are the at least 2 or 3 things that you religiously take with you on all your climbs? Like must have 3 things.
The three things I will categorize three sectors. The first thing, there has to be my when I go on if I'm crossing the Khumbu ice fall. So there has to be minimum one ice screw with you. The ice axe should be there. If there is a if you fall in crevasse or something like that, you have to do self arrest and the rescue. So at least you can hang yourself and make an attempt to save your life. Okay. And also on the summit, I do carry all my spares. If I lost my mittens, there should be one spare mitten in my backpack. Then I don't recommend crampon, but there are other micro spikes which can be used if you lost your crampon on the climb or descent. Then the same goggle also, because if you lost your goggle, then the snow blindness will happen and it will be very difficult to get down from the mountain.
Yeah.
So these are life-saving things which I recommend. I train my all the trainees to carry all these things with them.
Yeah.
Second, uh, what I carry, that whatever my family or my mother or whomsoever have given me any kind of thing which I should carry up on the mountain and as a gift or as a memory, I do carry that on the mountain. And third thing which I carry on mountain is the will to come back alive and tell my story to the world. These are the things I carry up on the mountain.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. So, Kishore, you've climbed. You said you were athletic at school, then you stopped. You got ill, and you went back into training, and you are as fit as can be. Knowing what you know today, what advice would you give your younger self? That young Kishore coming out of school, what advice would you give them?
Um, the first advice I would like to give them, that there should be dream in your life, first thing, and the dream has to be big. Don't dream small. Okay, there is a thought of school. You uh, fulfill small dreams, then you will achieve the big one. No, no, no. If you start doing small things, you will end up in doing small things only. So dream big. Second thing, I recommend every young generation to have three things in their life. First, the education. You become someone, either engineer or doctor, philosopher, teacher, whatever you want to. This that will give you bread and butter. Okay. So if your pocket is full, your brain will work. If there is nothing, no money in pocket, your brain will not work. Second, you must have a hobby, any subject. I'm talking about subject. Okay, mountaineering, running, whatever it may be. Okay, there has to be one subject which you have to master throughout your life.
Yeah.
So whenever you are uh, under stress or depression, okay, you can do that activity. If I'm under stress, depression, I will go and bike 100 kilometer, 200 kilometers. This, it will act as a stress buster for me. And since we are evolving generation after generation, there has to be some mechanism, okay, where we can engage ourselves to get out of this depression. And third, most importantly, learn to uh, any musical instrument. Okay, so whether it's a flute, guitar, synthesizer, whatever you want, it should be handy, or it's like piano kind of thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so that you will uh, have something as a hobby which will take you, you need some time other than money making time. You can have the time where you can follow other things also.
True.
And that's how you can dream big, and you will achieve these dreams.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. It's actually interesting that you say if you dream small, you continuously dream small, and it will just become normal. So I think stepping out just outside of your comfort zone is always recommended. So thank you for sharing. So COVID-19 has affected everybody around the world. How are you dealing with it on your end, and how has it affected your expeditions, your work, and how are you coping?
Sarah, I was quite lucky. We few people were quite lucky that we didn't had vested 2020, because in Jan we climbed Aconcagua. So calendar wise, yes, 2020 we have achieved something. Okay, we one of the seven summits we have climbed that mountain. So yes, career, this mountaineering achievement wise, yes, it didn't affect anyone. But since the lockdown happened all over the world, okay, we are mountaineers, so we know the mountains are unpredictable. How many days we have to wait in base camp, it's nobody knows. So we are quite prepared for such events. To stay at home doing nothing and staying in base camp and doing nothing is the same.
Yeah.
Only in base camp there is no wife, there are no kids, there are no neighbors to chew your brain. Here everybody is there around you. So that's the most difficult thing one has to negotiate when you stay at home. And my family was quite lucky. They got an opportunity to stay with me since last 7 8 years. During these months, like March, April, May, I was never at home, so I could spend more time with them and to deal with them. As I said, these three things which I just mentioned, okay,
Mm.
these definitely going to help to cope up with this lockdown kind of thing, because it was mentally, emotionally, and physically quite challenging for the entire world to go through these days, not days, months. And if you had a hobby to learn something, read something, then you can use that time. If you have a habit to play on piano, you can use that time to learn many tunes, many songs, surprise your loved ones on their birthday or any special day by playing their favorite tune. That kind of things I had done, attempted, and successfully able to do that. So I would recommend everyone, if any future lockdown comes, be prepared from today. Collect all the books which you like to read, collect all the instruments which you like to play.
Yeah, that is interesting. So what's next? You did Aconcagua beginning of the year. What can we expect from you?
You can expect me to finish all the 7 summits first, but the immediate attempt will be Denali in
Okay.
June. And before that, definitely would like to see you in Joburg for my comrades on 13th June.
You are welcome. Absolutely. I'll be waiting. I'll remind you, actually. You're welcome, very much so. I don't know if I'll be running with you because I've never really run Comrades, but definitely will support you. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, Kishore, thank you so much for your time. And I do hope that you visit us again sometime after you've done Denali, Vincent, as well as Carsten's Pyramid, to come and tell us all about it. And we'll keep in touch and see what else you're doing out there. So everybody that joined and the ones that will be listening a little bit later, thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed that. If there's anyone that you would love for me to talk to and get some insights on in terms of adventure, mountaineering, or anything else, do inbox me. I would love for us to have different conversations. Thank you. And what time is it in India?
It's 25 past 7 p.m. So it's dinner time for us. And thank you, Sarai, and
And
thank you all the viewers for giving me this opportunity to share all my experience, whatever small experience to big experience, to with you. I hope, Sarai, you will continue to do this activity, okay, and would like to come again maybe next year, yeah, or maybe after finishing my 7 summits or finishing my 10 green number comrades. So would like to.
absolutely. I'll introduce you to some of my friends that run a lot and they've got green numbers that then they can run with you.
Oh
All right.
yeah, I would like to. Yeah, bye.
Bye.